Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a penultimate session of our A4Q Global Testing Summit 2023, live from Zurich, Switzerland. So I think that this speaker really needs no introduction. You may have seen him earlier in one of our sessions in our Skills Club panel. But Richard Seidl is the renowned software testing expert, Agile Quality Coach, and Keynote Speaker, and has encountered a vast variety of software throughout his professional career. Richard is also an author of several books about software engineering and hosts a software testing podcast. We are so excited to hear from you today, Richard, speaking on the future of software quality, such an important topic.
Hi, thank you very much, Leonie, for this moderation. I'm getting out here in front of my camera. Thank you very much. So it's a pleasure for me.
Take us away.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here at the A4Q testing summit now and talk about one of my favorite topics about the future of software quality. I'm software tester, I would say, since I was a young child, but it's not true. But about over 20 years, I'm dealing with software quality, software engineering in any kinds. And if we talk about the future of software quality and software, we have to look at two parts. And the first part I want to talk about is technology. When I was a young boy, you see, I had this old style PCs in my room, and it was very easy to handle them. So we have our disks with not much space on it, and can do our little DOS and our little Windows, and fiddling around with all this RAM stuff, and to get all the things running. And it was a little bit easy, and we have just to be curious and investigate some things and get the things run. And we can set our jumpers inside the PC, and we know what they do. But since the 90s or 80s, where these pictures were taken, technology has changed a lot. We have now very, very complex world of technology. We have e-mobility, we have displays we can bend, we have all the stuff in our software which can now check what is on videos, can algorithms which can calculate things about information in these pictures. And yes, and one of our best friends nowadays in the last months, ChatGPT, AI. I asked ChatGPT early in the morning today, tell me what is the tester's day in 20 years? What will a tester do in 20 years? And he said to me, in the year 2043, the software tester embarks on the day in a neon-hued virtual nexus, where code flows like a vibrant river of interconnected streams. Clapped in haptic gear, they navigate through 3D data clusters, unearthing discrepancies with gestures as fluid as a maestro commanding a symphony of algorithms. AI entities, personified as holographic assistants, collaborate with testers in real time, whispering insights derived from deep quantum analysis. Testers then marshal nano drones to traverse the integrate neural pathways of software architectures, pinpointing and rectifying glitches with laser precision. In this digital cosmos, software testers are no longer mere technicians, but have evolved into cybernetic stewards guarding the sanctity of an interconnected reality woven from codes and algorithms. The day unfurls with a ballad of man and machine, a poetic dance towards the creation of flawless sentient software realms pulsating with the heartbeats of 1,000 virtual lives. So it could be a great movie, a blockbuster maybe. And we can use ChatGPT today for a lot of stuff in testing and in our daily life. And also some parts of Midjourney. So I asked Midjourney, the AI, to make some pictures of one of my favorite virtual mentors, Indiana Jones, and said, Midjourney, yeah, let him test some software. And yes, like Indiana Jones, he's testing software very intensive. But we have to mention, if we talk about AI and look at ChatGPT and Midjourney, that ChatGPT and Midjourney are not the future. They are the present. We have them now, and the future will look like more incredible than we can see today. And there we have a big gap in our mind. So we always think when we think of technology and the innovation of technology, that this goes in a linear way. Yesterday, 2 days ago, there was the Apple event where the new iPhone 15 was presented, and so we think, okay, there is an iPhone 15 today. So in the last 10 years, about 10 years ago, we had the iPhone 5. So maybe we will have the iPhone 25 in 10 years ago. But I don't think so. We know that technology innovation goes exponentially and not linear. So we will have something to communicate in 10 years, but I don't think it will be an iPhone or another smartphone anymore. And yes, maybe in 10 years we will laugh about the times where we had these small devices with us, about $1,000 a glass part, and if it falls down, it's damaged and it's a brick. So in 10 years, maybe we will have something other to communicate, maybe a hat or glasses or the Apple Vision, maybe it's too big, or a mask or something to wear. We don't know now, but we know it will be different. And if we look today, innovation. So in the former times, the innovators, there were engineers which do a lot of machine work and engineering, and the innovators today, if we look in the big tech companies, they are always software people. And so there will be incredible times in the next years where we can just look excited what there will be in the future in software, and yeah, somebody has to test it. And technology is just the one part of the future. The other part, there is something more. I think it's a very essential part that are we, the humans. And we have a big problem now, because when we look at the evolution of time, our brain is not so much innovative like our smartphones, computers, and software. So our brain is still from a time where we sat around the campfire and talk about how was our day today, and do we get enough food, and maybe tell us some stories about ghosts and shamanic things and so on. So, and we have now this brain which is evolutionary, not so flexible, and have all this complex technology and the complex parts in the world to deal with it. And in the last 20 years, we had a very big shift we have to deal with, and that is where all the things we do, there were some former days very simple and then get some complicated. But now, within the last 20 years, the things got even more complex. Maybe it's around the sources around the internet where all things get connected. But we had a time where we can do our software projects and said, okay, if we do this here, then this is the outcome, and there is a clear relation between this. But these times are gone. we have now projects and software which is interconnected, which communicates everywhere, on processes, on product, on API, on every level. Our software projects and products get even complexer. And if we look what we did the last years, we optimized all this complicated stuff. If I look in the German-speaking area, we are very great in there to automate things, to optimize things, to standardize things. But even we put out the last efficiency of a complicated system. But we now see in our project, in our world, that these strategies we used are not even compatible with this complex world. So if we look at the complex software and projects, we need other talents, we need other things to get use of this. In the complicated area, we can solve our problems with knowledge, with a plan. Maybe you can remember the old MS project plans, about 2 years. We can plan these 2 years, stuff our resources and do it, and then go on. And we had our processes worked good and everything works fine. But now I don't even know a project where a 2-year plan even resists 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We need a lot of other strategies to deal with it. So knowledge is more replaced by ideas, by collaboration. A plan is more replaced by talents, by using the strengths of people. And the processes, the standardized processes, is often replaced or enriched with intuition, with dealing some things we have only in a feeling, but not so much in our process documentation. So this world changed, the software development changed, you all know it. And I think our answer the last 20 years to deal with all this complex stuff, with this uncertainty, we see it every day in our Agile software environment. I think Agile is the answer for us to deal with all of this complexity, to deal with this uncertainty and to help us to navigate through the rough times with all the things we can use from Agile, even if it's Kanban or Scrum or the liberating structures, the collaboration tools, or something like Jira. All this stuff helps us to deal with all these complex environments we are now in. So we are now in an Agile world. A lot of the most projects work something like Agile or doing Agile things. Yes, and we, the testers, we sit there and look there. In former times, we had our test centers. We sat there and waited for the development to finish their work, put it on our table in our test environment, and we had some time, sometimes more time, less time to test it. We put our bugs in the issue systems, and then sat there again and waited until an update came, and then everything goes on, and we had a lot of time to drink coffee and smoke cigarettes. But now we have to deal with all this Agile stuff too. We have to look how can we put quality in all this software development cycle from the beginning to the end, to get quality as a lifestyle in this software, in this Agile software development projects. So let's take a look. What do we need for software testers in the future? So we have now a lot of stuff around the Agile testing. I think we did well the last years. We get our methods, our tools to use in the Agile development, but also agile development is innovation. It will change in the future. So what are the basics that we need as a software tester or for software quality in the future? And if I look on my history of the last 20 years, so I noticed the three parts, skills maybe, which is good to have to be prepared for a future of software testing or software quality. So the first is the foundations. Yes, still the foundations. Today, in the German version of the Certified Tester Foundation level is released in version 4.0. And I know a lot of people who do this certification, who learn the parts, and then I come to the projects and to the software development teams, and they all know this stuff, but they just know it. They don't do it, or doing such a part of it. So we're talking about foundations. They are, apart from them, is about 20, 30, 40 years old, but they're still not in practical use. And these are still the basics. We have to deal with it, and we have to check if we need it. So we have to look which test levels are available and usable for our project. Do we need unit tests? Which integration tests do we need? Which system tests? Which acceptance tests? On which level API tests or UI tests or whatever? We have to look which test types we need. What quality do we want in our software? What security requirements, what usability, what functionality or efficiency. And then the long list of test techniques we have, the correlation partitioning, decision table, boundary values. I know a lot of testers who know that very well, but if I look at the test cases, it's more intuitive testing what's there. And one of my favorite parts of the foundations is the static analysis, and there is also a big gap in the reality often in projects. So I come there and they have tools like SonarCube or something. Maybe in the enterprise edition, the bought one is running in the cellar. Nobody uses it. It runs there and it delivers log files, but nobody looks at it. And so static analysis is for me one major part and one quick win to get quality into the software. And the reviews too. You can do reviews like, yeah, it's okay. And you can do it very intensive to learn from each other, to break up silos, to get a better code quality. So I hope all of you are just nodding now and say, okay, we do it right. Yes. So do it. Use the foundations. I think they can even grow in the reality, in the practice even more, and do our benefits there. And it's not even to do all things of that, but to think about what do you want to use from these techniques, models, and so on. So use it like a checklist to check your projects in the future. What do we need to test? Where can we put our quality check mark there? Yes, the second thing is test automation. I put or I would say more than automation, not just test automation. In former times, test automation, it was just the UI testing, and then it was very flaky, doesn't work very well. But we have now a lot of tools and a lot of things we can automate in the whole process of software development. And I think this is a major skill for the future. So we have our unit tests. Okay, they are automated. Sure, check it. We can do our API testing. We have things like BDD or ATDD. We can use the whole new stuff from AI part, Copilot to do better code. We can use ChatGPT to get a basic construction of our test cases to get more creativity to have more ideas what to test. We can use all our analysis stuff and put it together to a process like CI/CD and the whole DevOps thing to get the most of our parts automated, so we can concentrate on the things who need our brain, and the rest can be automated. And there, I think that we have if I look in the projects, there's now a transition. So former times we had the developers and we had the testers, and now they began to merge. The developers who get more comfortable with the whole quality automation, test automation stuff, they get the tester skills. And on the other side, the testers who do their test automation get more development skills. And so the roles merge here together and can bring a big benefit for the quality of the projects. And the third part, and I think it's one of the most part because it's I think the other things like the foundations and test automation, this is very technical. We can learn it, we can use it, but there is one part we need in the future to get a big quality shift in our projects, and this is personal development of each individual person in the team and the whole team. And there are some points I want to mention if I talk about personal development. And the first part is never stop learning, lifelong learning, doing our homework. And if I look today, some people use ChatGPT in a little window next to their daily work. And if they have any question, they ask ChatGPT, how can we solve this? Give me an inspiration for this, write this for me, and something. So they use in a curious way this new technology, these new methodologies we have, and try to learn it, try to figure out how does it work. And I think this mindset to do this is very important for the future. So if we have today, if you look at Hugging Face, I think there are more than 350,000 AI models available, and this stuff is just the beginning. So there will be any more. So we don't have to be at the peak of the knowledge from AI, but we have to deal with it, and we have to look what can we do it and how can we use it for our daily stuff. Another part is to get quality as an attitude in the team. So at the times are gone where the tester is in the team to do the quality. It doesn't work. So we have to think quality all over the life cycle. And it begins with the first thoughts about the project, the first user stories, epics, and so on, the architecture, all the design stuff, the code, the tests, the test automation, the process to get all the stuff in production. All this needs quality, and we have to think quality about all over. And so we have to bring all people in the project, not just the developer and the tester, but also the product owner, the UX designer, all the stuff. We have business analysts, maybe what we have in the projects, have to think quality in mind, because otherwise we are not able to deal. We cannot catch all the things with just test cases at the end. So we have not the time to do that stuff. So we have to put all the quality efforts in the whole process. And therefore, it's this merging of roles will evolve in the future, where all of the people in the project get more of this quality attitude, of these tester skills. And if I go to a project and in a team and talk to them and work with them over months to doing, I'm not sitting there and doing their testing stuff. I try to put all this quality mind in their brains so that they do it themselves and they love it, and not just, oh, I have to test this now. So, but they do it. Wow, we can make quality there. We can use it with just in the IDE of my development framework. I can put quality in there. How great is that? So that I can go out of this team after a few months or a year and say, okay, you can do it on your own way. So I think this test expert who is only available for the test, these times are gone. And it's very provocative, I think. Maybe we come to times where we don't talk about testing anymore, because testing is just a part of the whole software development. I think if I look at software development teams, the high performance teams, they have developers who don't talk about testing. It's part of their development work they do every day. So there is no need to do this special testing thing, because they develop their unit tests, their integration tests, their feature tests within their software development. Otherwise, it's not done, and it's not to discuss. And one thing in this part of personal development, I think, is the most important part, and this is, I think, in our times not so easy, but we have to focus on it more. This is a change of perspective. We have now today all news from all over the world, of all tech companies, of all crises, of all everything available on our smartphones in real time. And there are a lot of bad news, and there are a lot of things we have to deal with it in our world and in the software technology too. I know people who are in fear of what AI maybe can do to us, and what can do it for our jobs, and how impacts our lives and so. But if we focus on a problem, the problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And so we have to think about, can we change our perspective, our focus more to the solutions? If we talk about the problems get even bigger. If we talk about solutions, we can inspire people and put in more new ideas how to deal with all the problems, and to get motivated and create new solutions. So I think this is one of the main things we have to deal in our personal life as a software tester, quality people too, because quality is a hard job. We have a lot of impacts there. We have the product owner who wants, I want my functionality to the customer. We have to go on, but we want quality in there. We need quality. If we don't think quality all over, we had problems with all big crazy things like cybersecurity, efficiency, all this stuff, and image reputation, all these things which can happen then. So we have to think quality all the time, and it's hard work. But if we look what we can do with that, what's the goal of it, and what our software, our product can help to improve the lives of some people. So I think we can focus there and use it to motivate us to go in more into quality. And to get there, we can use a new, or it's not new anymore, a more mentoring or coaching part, and not just the consulting a lot like we did in former days, where we say, I have to do the unit tests, goodbye. So, but we have to do our personal work with us and with our teams to be more optimistic, to have more empathy with our team colleagues, to live our values and to know our values as a tester or as a quality specialist, to change our beliefs about our environment, about what we can do, to work on our resilience, and also to accept what we cannot change. So don't blame on it. So it's something, it's okay, and drink a coffee or a wine and live with it. And to think positive, optimistic, and maybe such an utopia where we can go to in the future, and our software products can lead us there. And with all this coaching and mentoring stuff, we can create a quality mindset in our teams, and to live quality as an attitude all over this life cycle. Yes, and I want to mention somebody. Maybe some people know it. I'm a very big fan of Star Trek, and there's one quote from Jean-Luc Picard. He said, "The past is written, but the future is left for us to write." And we have powerful tools: openness, optimism, and the spirit of curiosity. So I hope you are curious now and optimistic and have a little spirit to use all the tools to create a future. And now I'm happy for the questions. Oh, I don't hear you, Leonie. You are muted.
Being curious is a very interesting thought to leave our audiences with. So thank you very, very much. We have quite a few questions coming up here, so let me get into it. Data. Need for expensive coding skills, or is it more valuable in analyzing test data? So I'm guessing this person is asking whether or not, extensive coding skills are required, or whether or not it's more valuable to have analyzing the skill to analyze test data.
I think as a quality specialist or a tester, coding skills are required to read the things. I don't think we need to be the best developer in the world. There are other people who are that, but to understand the code, to say, okay, let's look at your unit test or integration test, so we can analyze this together and look what we can do with better quality in this direction. I think there is good to have some coding skills. Yes.
Fantastic. I think we have more questions coming in for you. You're quite popular, Richard, so everybody's asking.
Okay, I'm happy. I'm here to ask questions. To answer them.
Melanie Edens asks, the role of AI in testing has become quite intriguing. Could you provide some insight on where we are today?
Oh, I'm not a real specialist on how to use AI in testing, but there are a lot of people. I knew somebody I had in my podcast a few weeks ago who challenges ChatGPT to get tests and get in a dialogue with ChatGPT to make the tests even better. And now we have, since a few weeks, also Bart from Google, who's more in this coding skills than ChatGPT. So we can use them and look them, what can we do for tests. I think in my colleagues in the projects, I see that they use these tools if they are allowed to, or sometimes if they're not allowed to get some inspiration on what to test and what to do with test data, and to prepare test data also for testing.
Okay, fantastic. One more here from our viewer. Does AI in testing primarily use natural language processing to simplify testing and reduce the need for extensive coding skills, or is it more valuable? I guess it's very similar to the one that you just answered. So yeah, since you've answered that one, maybe we can try another one.
Yeah.
Cool. Jana Mayer's asking, given that unit or integration testing happens on dev side, how much should I interfere with and ask about the process there? I experienced resistance when asking questions about this and got not much of information. Very interesting.
That's a very good question. This is like a typical situation we have often today. So we come with the quality cape and say, so tell me, how is the process about unit testing? And the developer closes the door and says, go out here, it's my business. But both sides, we have to learn that it's not the developer business, it's not the tester business, it's both business. Quality is a part of both worlds. So we have to create and to optimize these processes together. And this is the part where I mentioned in the last slide, this coaching or mentoring part. It's not more that we as a test manager come here and say how to do it. I've written this in my test plan that you do a unit test about this coverage, but to work with the developers to make better integration in unit tests. And this needs a mind shift on both sides, I think.
Mm.
And that's a change process, which is not done from one day to another.
Okay, great. One more. What do you think is the most relevant skill for the future of software quality?
Oh, the most relevant. there are some most relevant, but I think it's to be curious about our software product we want to test, and I think a lot of testers know that if there is a new release, I want now I can test. So if you have this feeling, I think this you need. All the other stuff, this is your tool set to use there. But to have this feeling here, I want to test this, I want it now, then I think it's a very relevant skill. And to be curious about all the technology stuff I mentioned before. Yeah.
Fantastic. One more, Richard. What is your recommendation on how to use ChatGPT today?
Yeah, I think ChatGPT is a very good sparring partner all over the day. I have it also on my screen. Today I asked him what about the software test, and get it, not just ask and then have an answer, but get in a conversation with ChatGPT. Precise, give me some variants, check your answer again. Is it really right? So challenge it. I think ChatGPT today he's not angry if you ask more. So just do it. And for me, the game changer was to get more in a dialogue with it and not just use it as a Google and say, what is this and that. So we really get in dialogue and talk to him like a sparring partner, so you can put out the most from it.
Fantastic. We're just getting so many greetings for you from Bangladesh, all the way from Bangladesh. So you can say hi to our Bangladesh audience. It looks like that is all for the questions and comments. Thank you so very much for sharing with us, Richard. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Pleasure. Now we'll move on to our next session.